Good evening and thank you for joining us. Ontario Premier Doug Ford is touring the region today, making stops in Greenstone and here in Thunder Bay. The Premier made a number of significant announcements during his visit, most of them for First Nations organizations.
Every time I come into a First Nations community, you treat me like gold.
The Premier stopped by the local KCETS facility to announce that the province has approved the organization as a certified carpentry training facility. Ford praised KCETS and Matawa for their out-of-the-box thinking. He also singled out Webequie and Martin Falls for blazing a trail of prosperity, saying he's grateful for the relationships with those communities. Martin Falls Chief Bruce Ashney-Penescom spoke about mining opportunities in the Ring of Fire, but he also notes the Premier needs to be ready to meet with all affected First Nations, nation to nation, for those opportunities to be realized.
Never take anything for granted. It always has to be a very fair partnership, and again, I'm very, very grateful. We'll always stand shoulder to shoulder with you. We'll always have your backs.
Martin Falls is a large part of what's happening at the Ring of Fire, but we're not the only First Nation there that's affected.
Earlier in the day, Ford announced $5.7 million for several initiatives in the Greenstone area, including $2 million for a First Nations forestry training center and another $2 million for a First Nation-owned truck stop and commercial plaza. Ontario's Deputy Premier and Minister of Health Sylvia Jones was also in the city today to announce significant funding for the Thunder Bay Regional Health Sciences Centre. The province is providing more than $7.7 million in permanent base funding for 34 existing hospital beds. But as Vasilios Bellos reports, it comes amidst a doctor shortage in the region.
Ontario's health minister announced some significant funding, marked to improve service at the regional hospital.
To ensure communities have the hospital capacity and healthcare services they need.
Health Minister Sylvia Jones, who also serves as the Deputy Premier, announced over $7.7 million for 30 acute care beds for transitional patients at Thunder Bay Regional and 4 mental health beds. It's part of a larger provincial commitment to 3,500 hospital beds across Ontario. Hospital President Rhonda Crocker-Ellicott says those specialized beds benefit patients from across the region accessing their services.
Supports our permanent capacity to really support the needs of patients and families across Northwestern Ontario. So we're very thankful in support of exceptional care for every patient every time here at the Health Sciences Centre.
Yet another step our government is taking to improve access, expand capacity, and decrease wait times.
Hospital officials later clarified that this is new base funding to continue to operate 34 existing beds at the hospital. Meanwhile, there is still a significant shortage of doctors across the region, with thousands of people in Thunder Bay without a primary care provider. When questioned about the province's role in addressing the shortage, Jones mentioned her government's commitment to expanding primary care access.
It would be through community health clinics, nurse practitioner-led clinics, or of course family practitioners. That expansion of that multidisciplinary approach is basically the largest expansion that we've had since we started multidisciplinary teams in Ontario.
Minister Jones was unable to specify when this multidisciplinary approach can be fully rolled out across the region, but says those announcements can be expected in the coming months. Vasilios Bellos, TBT News.
The family of a man who's been missing for nearly a year has issued another emotional plea for help. The search continues for 65-year-old Alex Lawson, who hasn't been seen since last November. Thunder Bay Police and Lawson's family released new video footage today and also announced a bigger reward as the one-year anniversary approaches. Josh Morano has more.
We are asking anybody with information to please come forward and do the right thing. Help us bring our dad home.
Alex Lawson is still missing almost a year since his last sighting, and his family continues to seek answers about his disappearance. Detective Inspector Jeremy Pearson with the Thunder Bay Police says they started receiving help from the OPP last winter, and the case has turned into a national investigation.
There's been an extensive search done by not only ourselves, but our policing partners in the OPP. We've utilized drone searches, canine searches, physical searches, as well as, of course, doing all of our background investigation into banking information, telephone records. Every avenue that we can think to explore, we are doing, and will continue to do so as new information comes forward.
Pearson and the Lawson family have also released new footage of the 65-year-old man heading out for the night the last time he was seen last November. Lawson is wearing his blue North Face puffer jacket, blue jeans, black shoes, and black hat as he leaves his building. Pearson is optimistic the video will help spark a memory for someone who saw Lawson that day or afterwards.
This video is video from our last confirmed sighting, and it shows his gait, his manner of movement, in the hopes that perhaps seeing him in motion will trigger recognition in someone who may have seen Mr. Lawson.
The Lawson family also says they have been approved to increase the reward for anyone who calls the tip line with information that leads to their father's whereabouts.
I'd also like to announce on behalf of Laxwell First Nation that they will be offering a $10,000 reward on top of the $5,000 that the Thunder Bay Police are putting up.
A dedicated tip line has been set up, and anyone with information can contact Thunder Bay Police directly or through Crime Stoppers. Josh Morano, TBT News.
Lakehead University's research team has launched a public survey to gauge citizen satisfaction and trust regarding the Thunder Bay Police Service. The survey, which takes about 10 minutes, already has more than 500 responses. The goal is to gather public insight regarding their interactions and experiences with city police. That feedback will be used to help the service train new officers. Research coordinator Mustafa Mohammed says gathering information from those the police serve is one of the best ways to spur meaningful change.
But when surveys like these happen, the sound of the people are amplified through either are they happy with or not. If you're not happy and you have certain specific times when you ran into the police and you were not happy, that's the time, we want to hear about those times.
It's one of those things, I think we have to be honest with the good, the bad, the ugly. And we saw some stats today, about 30%, I think it was 2022 or 2021, felt safe in this community. That's really, we shouldn't be, accepting that kind of stats. So this survey is going to really give us a good understanding of where we are now and some of the ideas that people have for the community and some of the concerns that they have.
About 2,500 people participated in last year's survey. This latest version can be found on the SurveyMonkey website and will run for about 6 weeks. The Lions Vision Care Centre is celebrating the addition of a brand new $310,000 ophthalmic microscope. It was announced this afternoon at the regional hospital. Joe Sadowski was there.
Out with the old and in with the new. The previous microscope was around 15 years old and at risk of breaking down without replacement parts. This new microscope is needed for over 2,200 cataract procedures annually, glaucoma treatments, and various other surgeries. Ophthalmologist at Thunder Bay Regional, Dr. Chris Francis, took a break from using the new equipment to explain some of the perks and benefits it has to offer.
Sort of better optics, so we get a better view of the eye when we're doing surgery. We have increased depth of focus and stereo vision with it, so it really helps us with challenging cases, and it makes it safer to do the cases and easier. So.
Dr. Francis believes this new microscope should have a longer lifespan than the older model and says another major upgrade is that the new microscope has a built-in computer which can implement patient data and has self-correcting lenses.
And we can input information regarding astigmatism, and we have lenses which correct astigmatism now. So when we input that into the computer, then we can mark the eye with the technology built into the microscope.
While the price tag was a hefty $310,000, nearly the entirety of the funding came from the Lions Club and Lions International, with a generous donation of over $275,000 for the advanced piece of medical equipment. Chair for the Lions Vision Care Advisory Board, Angela Sharbut, says the group is extremely proud to have donated the money for a great cause.
So, when we're in our communities, we might be having pancake sales or selling tickets or having a yard sale. Any of the things that we do raising money, 100% of that money comes back into the community for different projects. And the Vision Care Center is one of those ones that we are so proud of because so many Lions and clubs are active in it.
Joe Sadowski, TBT News.
Families looking for some Halloween fun are in for a treat as the Alexander Henry is once again hosting the Haunted Harbor fundraiser. And this year, organizers have added some family-friendly events that are suitable for all ages. Unfortunately, all of the nighttime walks are sold out, but tickets are still available for a family daytime event this Saturday from 11 to 5. That event includes a guided walk that organizers say won't be too scary for younger visitors. There are also crafts, games, face painting, and other activities, and attendees are invited to wear their Halloween costumes. Our Kids Count Executive Director Jackie Knuff says they're only able to host 2 daytime family events this year, but are hoping to have more in the future.
We might bring more days back next year depending on, how many people come out, but so far I think the feedback has been pretty great. It's so nice to see the families coming dressed in costumes, and we actually have some surprises on Saturday too. Every hour there's going to be a Monster Mash flash mob, so children from all the days and Anabiju Childcare and some of our community partners are going to come and do a little flash mob for us as well.
The event supports the Transportation Museum of Thunder Bay and Our Kids Count. Tickets can be purchased online at ourkidscount.ca. Local residents got a treat from Mother Nature yesterday evening as a full double rainbow could be seen at both ends of the city. Many people quickly grabbed their cameras and cell phones and posted images on social media. These were some of the views on the south side of town, including this shot from Riverdale Road along the Cam River. And the rainbow was just as spectacular on the north end of the city, as this photo from Marina Park shows. According to Environment Canada, a light rain shower passed over the city around 7 p.m. That, followed by bright sunshine at dusk, created the amazing view.